I didn't hear the question though, but I just know
Oh,
some
yeah.
we've been
Wait, I
picking
can tell
three
you real
people.
quick.
Okay.
Just introduce yourself, what you do in the music industry, and the zombie apocalypse is coming. What three artists do you want on your team?
Uh, well, I do everything pretty much in my career. Like I manage myself and I make songs and stuff, and I book myself a bunch of stuff. I hire people, and what I would who I would pick on a zombie apocalypse, I have to pick the shooters. I have to pick like uh I have to pick like Future's friend, someone that's in Future's like camp, like not Future himself, because but the guy that hangs out with Future for that reason. Then I would probably pick like I need the security. I need like 6ix9ine's security team or 6ix9ine himself, and then I need like uh I need Kanye West with me. I need Kanye West.
For sure, for sure. Those are all amazing choices. And it would be very interesting to see Kanye in the zombie apocalypse. I feel like he would know what to do for some
Oh,
reason.
he knows. He knows. He has his pact. He has the answers.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for answering and introducing yourself. I'm going to get this panel started. I'm Donna. I'm a marketer at Finesse Media, and I'm co-hosting this Artist Marketing 101 panel with Bea. And just a couple of reminders is to keep your mics off, but cameras on, because keeping your camera on is a great way to have people in the music industry get to know you and remember your face. And also grab a pen and paper to get some notes, because these panelists are going to drop some gems of knowledge that you will not want to forget. And if you want to stay connected with everyone on this panel, we have a contact sheet that's being dropped in the chat. So you should definitely fill that out and connect with everyone on this panel. So thank you all for being here. Today, we'll be focusing on artist marketing and how rising artists and marketers can strategize to get as much exposure as possible for their music, because good music gets you far, but marketing helps to drive it home. So with us today are Blair Maclin, Naoto Wakabayashi, and Sierra Lever. And I'm going to pass it off to my co-host to begin the interview portion.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. So I'm Bea. I'm an event coordinator with Finesse Media, as well as an artist myself, and we're really excited to have you all here. So we're going to kick off the interview portion by starting off with why don't our panelists tell us a little bit about how you got started working in music marketing? If you could give a quick overview of your bio, that'd be awesome. Let's start with Naoto.
Yeah, most definitely. So my name is Naoto Wakabayashi, and I am an account manager at a company called Wavo. Wavo is basically a paid media and analytics company, helping out the major record labels with their digital advertising campaigns. And how I basically got my start in the music industry, well, I hosted a podcast where I interviewed local artists. And then after that, I found myself at Wavo, and now I primarily work with Atlantic Records across their hip hop and R&B releases, as well as Selection and 88 Rising as well. So I'm really excited to be on this panel with like the wonderful hosts Bea and Dana, and also with the speakers Blair and Sierra as well. So really excited for this panel.
Yay, awesome. We're really happy to have you. Blair, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you got started working in music marketing?
For sure. Hi, everyone. My name's Blair. I'm a product manager at The Orchard, which is a distribution company under Sony Music. I got my start in the music industry, not really in the marketing world at all. I really wanted to work in the creative space, as a lot of us do. And after I graduated, I got an opportunity to join the release planning team at a sub-label under Sony called Red Music. So for anyone who doesn't know, release planning is kind of the nitty-gritty, technical, delivering assets, metadata, real fun stuff. But anyway, I started out doing that and got an opportunity to join the growth strategy team at Vivo, where I got opportunities to work directly with label partners and artist teams, strategizing around upcoming releases and how we could create engaging content on Vivo and YouTube channels. And then even then, I really enjoyed my time at Vivo, but wanted to be working, directly with artists and, taking the lead on marketing campaigns. And I got the opportunity to join the artist services team at The Orchard, which is where I'm at now. And it's been great. I work with emerging and established artists, a wide range of genres and, international and US based artists, Jorja Smith, Skepta, Saba, to name a few. But yeah, it's been great so far. I'm super happy to be here and be a part of this panel. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for being here. Sierra, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you got started in music marketing?
Hi, everybody. Again, this is Sierra, and I'm currently right now working at Amazon Music as a label relations manager, specifically on hip hop and R&B. But prior to this, and this is a recent job that I've just taken on in the last few months. But prior to this, I was on the record label side working in marketing, whether it was Columbia Records, Motown Records, Capitol Records, and working very closely with artists. And, I was able to enter into that world actually through some previous work prior to that. So I gained an internship after I graduated from Syracuse. I moved to LA. And I ended up getting an internship with the Recording Academy. And from there, I ended up temping after that into different departments to, see if this is a fit for me. And I also wanted a marketing job to open because for myself, I was like, I love marketing. I love to be part of everything. Because when you're part of marketing, like every single piece of an artist's career and their trajectory, like you're a part of that. And that's what I wanted to do. And so I was waiting for a marketing, position to open. Nothing opened at the Academy. And then there was a role at the LA Philharmonic Symphony Orchestra in marketing. And so it was a different type of marketing, but I gained that experience and I was still servicing fans who are fans of music. And then at some point I said, well, I have a lot of really dope friends that I want to work with, but this institution that I'm working at right now doesn't allow me to connect. It doesn't allow me to help developing artists. It doesn't allow me to tell their stories. And so I ended up, through relationships and contacts that I was starting to gain and network, and I found an opportunity to go into the record label business. And then that's where everything continued to take off from there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sierra. So I know that marketing can be a little bit overwhelming. It is such an important part of artists' careers. So maybe we can dive into defining what exactly artist marketing is and why it's important. Blair, do you want to start us off?
For sure. And yeah, you guys made a great point in your intro. Music is obviously at the core of what, we do within the industry. Everything revolves around the music, and that is the most important part. But beyond that, creating a community and a space around that music and bringing in an audience that's going to stay, it is really, what creates longevity in the industry. And that does stem from marketing. Some of the biggest names in music that we love and that have huge devoted fan bases are artists that make incredible music, but also artists that have found ways to present their music that are engaging, that are interactive, and build that larger experience around what they're offering. So I would say that's really the core of why marketing is so important. Just, keeping people tapped in and keeping people excited about what's coming and keep making sure people are investing in you as a person. That's really what marketing is all about. And I think that's really where the value is.
Yeah, absolutely. Sierra, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, just like Blair said, like the music, like that's at the core. But then it's also, what's your story as an artist? What's important to you? What's important to your fans? What story do you want to tell and what do you want to share with your fans? Because when we look at the biggest artists and some of the artists that we love, it's the music, but there's also all these other pieces that we fall in love with, all those pieces that we connect with that keeps us there, that keeps us, to Blair's point, that longevity, aspect of an artist's career. And, artist marketing, I would say, is storytelling, being able to connect, being seen, being accessible, finding your pocket. Sometimes it can be overwhelming when there's there's so many people out there and you're like, how am I going to get my music out there to reach everybody? But it starts in one place. So you focus on that one place, you focus on who is paying attention and who you can relate to and where are they at, what do they do, where do they, hang out with, or what interests them. And you go there and you start to tell people what you do too. Like, don't be hesitant to share that you are a singer-songwriter. Like, people should know that. And that's the way that people are going to then continue to pay attention, because there's so much music, so many things happening. And a lot of artists sometimes, like, they're like, oh, I want to just be quiet. I want it to just be about the music. And it can still be about the music, but you have to share a piece. You have to share something. If you're not ready to share everything, share something. And, map out a vision of what you want and continue to keep working towards that. Because sometimes it's like, oh, I'm an artist, but you're not putting out music. So what do people have to share? Because people are willing, if you ask them, and you're going to have to ask them over and over again, and you can't be shy about that. But it's really having that strategy and that vision of what you have and what you want for yourself that you have to keep following and stay persistent.
Yeah, 100%. So now that we have a better understanding of what exactly marketing is and why it's important for artists, I want to get a little bit more into the specifics of like what are some of the key components of a really strong marketing strategy. When you look at some of your favorite artists, your favorite campaigns, what are the things that really make them stand out for you? Naoto, do you want to answer this one?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, Sierra and Blair, both of you guys killed your answers regarding digital marketing. Or just marketing in general. I feel like you guys covered all the bases there, so thank you for that. I just want to say, like, for me, what I've observed as far as what makes a strong marketing campaign, it's anything that really helps to tell that story and cut through all the noise. Whether that involves, and to me, I would definitely say like it involves platforms that really speak to you as an artist or as a team. I think one thing that talking to a bunch of different artists and a bunch of different artist teams, sometimes some teams and some artists want to focus on one platform, all of them at the same time. But my whole thing there is, yes, in the beginning, I think it is important to touch on everything. But if you do find something that really, really works for you, I would definitely say double down on it. I think that, one platform that people end up talking about and one platform that people say that you should definitely promote your music on is TikTok. But I really feel that when it comes to that platform, you really have to have fun with it. Like, you can't really force it at all, right? So at the end of the day, I would definitely just say that like a strong marketing campaign involves anything that that really taps into who you are as an artist, for sure.
Awesome. Blair, do you want to add anything to that about what are some of the really key elements that make a strong marketing campaign or strategy?
For sure. Yeah, I think Naoto set it up perfectly. And that's a great point in terms of like honing in on platforms that work for you and what your music is and who your audience is. I would say, just to add on to that, once you find those platforms or that platform, make sure that you're tapping into what their most recent features are. What are they working on, internally to build out? What features, whether it's, YouTube, what features is YouTube adding to their platform? How can I jump on it before it becomes already like a huge and like overused, oversaturated space? I think TikTok was a perfect example. Now everybody is like, you got to be on TikTok, you got to be on TikTok. But the people that were hip to TikTok at the beginning really had an opportunity to create, set the scene, set the tone. And I think that's really important. There are platforms that are popping up and communities within platforms that are popping up every day that you can tap into and, kind of set the tone and lead the way. So I would say doing that is important too. Knowing your audience, but also knowing the platforms and what they're working on to maximize reach to that audience. So yeah.
Yeah, of course. And piggybacking off of that, I know there are so many, different platforms and different resources and strategies, and it's not really a one size fits all type of thing. So maybe we could talk a little bit about what are some of the more accessible marketing strategies and resources that emerging artists can use when they don't have a big budget or team behind them. Sierra, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, I mean, I would, when you don't have a budget, it really comes down to a lot of the grassroots. It comes down to who you're connecting with. Thinking about the community that you're in and seeing and utilizing what other great, amazing human beings are next to you, and what they have to offer. Do they have a space that you can do a performance at and you don't have to pay for it? Is there, a champion of someone who is maybe a big time DJ in your city? Make sure that you connect with them and they have your music, because it always starts with, for myself and what I've seen, I've always narrowed down into the hometown experience. I've always narrowed down into that hometown hero and what that looks like. Is it, oh, you can sing the national anthem at one of the games, go ahead and see if you can play at some sort of halftime show, but you build those relationships, or you find that DJ and you give them your music and you see what they're willing to do at the games. It's like finding those areas and people who are in position to spread your music naturally. And I think that, we talked about TikTok, completely utilizing TikTok. It's easy. Anyone who has a phone, you can put a video up and get creative with it. YouTube also, I think video content is super important that you have and you put out, because it's the visual piece. And so when you're on a budget, just try to be resourceful and utilize who's around you.
Yeah, absolutely. So Naoto, I know you also have worked with a lot of really big artists, but you also do marketing consulting on the side with more rising independent artists. So for you, what are some of the marketing strategies and resources that you see translating that are a little bit more accessible for folks that don't have as big of a team or budget?
Yeah, interestingly, coming from a digital perspective too, having run the hundreds and I guess thousands of digital campaigns that we have, we've noticed that actually user-generated content ends up performing the best, better than even music video content as well. So that kind of goes into just being resourceful. And, I just feel like even with our phones and with our laptops and just like all this technology that we have these resources and these tools at our fingertips. And honestly, oftentimes what we're finding is that, even just a video of like an artist recording themselves in front of a camera, lip syncing a song, that often works better than a music video that somebody has spent thousands of dollars on in terms of promoting your music online. So that's something that I definitely try to get across to the smaller independent artists I'm working with. Like, look, and also another thing too is kind of going back to what I said earlier. I always just say, like, have fun with it, tap into your audience, like listen to what your audience wants and really go with it. And in terms of like platforms specifically, like I'm a huge fan of tapping into YouTube, tapping into Instagram specifically, because, they really want, all these platforms really want you to use their new features, but I find that Instagram keeps constantly rolling out new features and they reward those that use them. So that kind of provides like a really great space to like innovate and to grow your audience. And again, TikTok. And surprisingly also, if you have a small budget, I think Spotify ads are very effective in converting audiences within the platform itself and really triggering some of those playlist algorithms too. So yeah, that's definitely what I would say in terms of like the advice I would give to some of the indie clients or indie people that I work with as well.
Yeah, awesome. That's a super helpful answer. Do you mind actually also just explaining a little bit more what user generated content is for folks that may not be as familiar with that strategy?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just literally anything that you kind of just film on your phone, for example. So like anything that, I mean, you can find all of that on TikTok, right? I just feel like as TikTok has risen in popularity, that has kind of carried over onto other platforms as well, where now front-facing camera footage or anything that looks organic like that tends to perform with the highest level of engagement because people feel that it's native to the platform. And that's why we always like advise people from shying away from like horizontal music video clips, because all of that takes you out of the experience, and it literally takes a fraction of a second for the audience to kind of determine, oh, hey, I don't want to watch this anymore. So you have to really grab them and, get their attention from the jump. So that's what I mean by user generated content.
Awesome. Thank you for that explanation. So I'm going to pass it off to Donna, who also has some questions for you guys.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, I hadn't even thought about that music video tip that you just said. So I really hope people are taking some notes because that is a really good insight. So we were kind of talking about these audiences that you're trying to market to. So I think that it's kind of difficult sometimes for rising artists to figure out what is the right target audience to market to. So I was wondering if you guys could expand on what strategies they can use to find that. And Blair, could you start us off?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think everyone's strategy is going to be different, depending on what space you're in, what genre you're looking to break into. But I would say the best place to start, I know for me, I'm like a visual person. I love a good mood board or like a vision board, something to kind of help put the pieces together visually, but you can even write it down and list out, like, if I had to put a list of similar artists together for myself, who would those artists be? Not just sonically, but like in terms of size. What other artists are at the same level? What other artists are a little maybe above me in terms of fan base? And start to kind of put those pieces together. And then, what are the brands affiliated with these artists? What brands do fans of these artists like? Do I like these brands? Like, I think a misconception sometimes is that, artists feel that their fans are a direct reflection of them. And sometimes that's the case, but in other times, your fans' interests can kind of expand beyond maybe what you would expect. So I think doing that research can help to really like hone in on what your fans are looking for in terms of content. Maybe they like gaming. If that's the case, you might not be a gamer, but hey, is my sound, appealing to the gaming community? If so, like, Naoto said, UGC content is huge on YouTube, huge gaming community on YouTube that uses a lot of, rising artist music in these content pieces. So you kind of start to build the strategy from there. But I would say first things first is to kind of paint that picture in whatever way is easiest for you, and be honest with yourself. And that prepare for that to change also, because we've seen it time and time again. Fans say things like, so-and-so artist, I miss their old music, I miss their catalog, or so-and-so makes the same music, they need to switch it up. Prepare for your audience to grow and evolve as you would grow and evolve as an artist, and be prepared to make those adjustments.
Yeah, for sure. That was an awesome answer. And Naoto, I saw you nodding along. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, Blair's answer was amazing. So yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Awesome. Okay, so also speaking of all of these strategies, have you guys seen any new marketing avenues that have emerged since the pandemic? Sierra, could you start us off?
Yeah, I think we've all kind of seen some of the new things like TikTok taking off. Clubhouse is another place, and but I think Clubhouse has really been a place where artists have been able to share more of who they are in a way than just like you look at an artist like 21 Savage. Like, I feel like that has really carried him through this pandemic, and we're waiting on music, but knowing that he's still present and he's still connected to culture and he still sees his fans and he's talking to his fans, like that's super important. I think just artists have really utilized the tools and the platforms that we've been using, but just more on a more personal level of knowing like, oh, I have to share more. I have to, you know, speak on what's important to me. I have to go on live. I have to step out of my comfort zone. And I think that's what's really been pushing. And, you know, during the pandemic, like radio really took a hit as well, because everything was like, okay, now how do I get in front of people? If people aren't outside, they're not in the clubs, they're not outside. And some artists really struggled during this time because they broke records in the clubs, whether it's a nightclub or a strip club, where they use that feedback from fans to put out their music, and that was taken away from them. So they've really adjusted to utilizing the platforms that we have and really just trying.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Blair, do you have anything to draw from that from your own experience? Have you seen any new marketing avenues arise?
I think Sierra, answered that perfectly. I mean, the transition from being outside to now trying to navigate this very digital based, strategy, I guess, in music has been rough on a lot of people. And with, people not being able to go to festivals and not being able to have that engagement, it's hard to build community and that feel of community. And I think that we've kind of gone through stages throughout the pandemic. Like Sierra mentioned, Clubhouse was a huge platform to connect people again. And there were like a couple months where everyone was on Clubhouse, sharing gems and playing music. And, there was that kind of gave us a resurgence of community. And there was that a time where it was a lot of IG lives happening and people jumping on IG live and engaging people there. So I would say it changes, as quickly as everything else changes. I'm trying to think of another example, but I would just say, I guess, continuing to do your research within the spaces that you're in and, make sure that you're tapped into what's happening because things change so quickly. I would say that's kind of the key to thriving within the pandemic times. I know sometimes it comes at moments that you wouldn't expect. I had one artist that I worked with during the pandemic. Her name is Orla Gartland, and she's an indie alternative artist out of Dublin. And she was like not big on TikTok. I was like, I don't really think this is for me. Just kind of started getting into it and sharing music and clips. And she ended up going viral, putting a piece of duct tape on her piano, and it kind of created this reverb sound. She became like the tape talk girl on TikTok. And then it's in itself is like brilliant, but then kind of how she built it out from there. Promoting the song More Like You, which was featured in the TikTok, it became such a bigger moment for her, and was an opportunity to do something new and different. So I would say don't be afraid of that. Continue to challenge yourself to explore different avenues, and it's a crazy time that we're living in, so it's going to keep changing as we go.
Yeah, for sure.
Write it out.
And that's super cool. I want to see that TikTok now, but now that I see you unmuted yourself, do you have anything to add?
Find it and I'll put it in the chat.
Yes, actually, that Blair's story there, that kind of reminded me of an anecdote that I definitely wanted to share with you guys. But I'm also working with an artist named Idman, and I started working with them last year before they got signed to Arista. And I was telling them that, getting on TikTok would be a great way to share your music, share your experiences, share your stories with your fans and grow that fan base, considering they, haven't even they just released their first song on Spotify. So they didn't have much of a story to tell. And they were definitely a little bit apprehensive about it at first, saying that, oh, I don't want to be dancing on the platform. It's kind of corny. It's kind of cheesy to me. But we kind of just told them to have fun with it and to really find the niche that, makes you feel the most comfortable. And in about 6-7 months, they got super viral off of a video where they were just brushing their teeth and lip syncing to that anxiety song that happened to blow up around the same time. So I think what Blair and Sierra said is completely spot on. You have to be nimble. You have to be willing to step outside those comfort zones and try out new things. Even a recent example that I want to bring up was, Clubhouse had its moment where it just kind of came and went very quickly. but I think we're about to see way more spaces, especially as it's integrated with Twitter, and considering Twitter dictates so many conversations. So they're going to do their best to push those conversations that happen in those places onto the platform as well. For example, the conversation with Jay-Z yesterday, that was a moment that was huge, especially kind of like piggybacking off of the, well, of course it's to promote the Netflix film, but especially like piggybacking off of the Kanye moment that happened like a few hours like the night prior. So I think keeping your eyes on these new features, on these new platforms, and moving as quickly as you possibly can and finding what features work best for you, I definitely do think that's the best plan for attack.
Yeah, wow, that was amazing. And those were all very great points to bring up. Sierra, I saw you unmuted yourself. Did you also have something to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to share too, like as you start looking into future and what's to come, and just piggyback off of what you guys have just said too. But as you look, there's like we've started to see more avatars, right? Like we've started to see more other worlds and dimensions that are being created. And so if you are into that, or you like be open to finding an audience within a space like that. Like there's this company called Genies, and they're like all about avatars. Like look into that and see as they start to build, and how other companies start to build up and pushing like this metaverse and these worlds. Those are other ways to share your music without that even like being you know what I'm saying? Like it's yourself in a digital space as a digital avatar.
Yeah, for sure. And I hope everyone's taking notes about looking into these new avenues. And my last question for you guys are there any new projects coming up that you can talk to us about? Blair, can you start us off?
Actually, this week I was super excited to be part of the launch of a new album from Saba. He just announced his album Few Good Things this week, so gladly I could talk about it finally. But yeah, super excited about that. That's really a project that I've been looking forward to, and super happy to be part of that team. So check out, he dropped his first single. It's called Fearmonger. Came out yesterday. Came out Thursday. But yeah, so look out for that rollout. It's going to be really good. I'm super excited. And then another project that's been in the works, it's already out by Loj and SARS, two Nigerian acts that are, taking the Afro beats world by storm. They have a project called Love and Attention that's been out for a while now, but still working that, and excited to continue to be part of their journey. Breaking them in the US. So yeah, if anybody's into Afro beats, I'm learning a little bit more about Afro beats in the last few months. I've been on some new projects, so that's been super dope. But yeah, those are, I guess, two standouts for me.
Awesome. That's so exciting. Naoto, can you share any new projects that you have coming up?
Yeah, for sure. Well, currently I find funnily enough, I find that like November is a pretty, low-key month for all of my releases, but the artist I'm working with, Idman, they dropped a song called Politics, basically talking about the messiness of getting into a polyamorous relationship. It's really awesome. Check it out. And on top of that, well, I mean, I'm not working on this project directly, but Silk Sonic's dropping next week. So very, very excited for that. And to even just like promote like good music too, like the Mine project and the Summer Walker project, come on, like those two, A1. If you haven't listened to them, please put them on repeat all weekends. They will blow your mind. So I would say that. And yeah, I think we're good. I mean, NBA Youngboy dropped this album last month. Stream that if you guys can. So yeah, that's it for me. Ooh, oh yeah, summer was going off also. Like, oh my God, on Fourth Baby Mama, come on now.
Yeah, I was just about to say the chat is popping off down there. But Sierra, do you have any projects that you can share?
I would just say like recently, like we're all talking about the summer project, and the company Amazon Music, we were part of the trailer that she had dropped before announcing the album and the date and everything. And there was an integration of R&B rotation, rap rotation, R&B rotation, our hip hop and R&B branding as part of Amazon Music. And so being a part of that trailer and that announcement was really great, and, gave her a nice billboard, things that help support in the marketing. She's a super talented artist. And when you look at artist marketing, her and her team have always nailed it, from the storytelling, from the visuals, from tapping into the community and giving back, and just allowing fans to be a part of the journey as it happens. So I would go back, study, see what she did across all the different platforms, and just see how she actually connected. And when you listen to the music too, there's familiar samples, there's storytelling, there's relevancy to culture. When she included Cardi B, when she included Sierra's Prayer, that shows that she was paying attention. And as an artist, fans love when they see that an artist is paying attention to what's actually happening, because now they feel like they're in it. So that's all I could share right now with you guys.
These are all awesome projects, and I hope you all check them out. And right before I pass it back to Bea for the audience Q&A, I want everyone to unmute themselves and give me a woo woo if you learned something new from these panelists. Woo woo! Thank you, everybody.
Amazing, amazing. Yes, like Donna said, I hope you guys were taking notes, because our panelists definitely dropped some gems, and I'm sure the audience also has some questions that you guys want to directly ask them. So we're going to open it up to you guys to ask your questions. If you could use the raise hand feature, I can call on folks and you can unmute yourself to ask your question, or you can also drop it in the chat. Okay. How about, I see Maka has their hand raised.
Hey, I have a question. I don't know who would be best equipped to answer this, but feel free to share all your answers. Do you notice there's a shift or change in artists' desire to perform live, and they rather perform live less and just make music and content?
Interestingly, can I go ahead? Is that all good?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Interestingly, I've been finding, as things have started to open up, artists have been dying to kind of get back on stage, because I think the thing is, it's we this pandemic has almost lasted for 2 years, right? We've had 2 years of just kind of sitting in the house for the most part, creating digital content, and just really, or just I guess focusing on digital strategy. So I think one thing that I've definitely noticed is that a lot of artists have been wanting to kind of see and feel the fruits of their labor. And it kind of just blows them away, because they're oh, to me, it was kind of numbers were increasing, but it they don't actually tangibly feel the impact. So I find that a lot of artists, there's definitely a desire to get back out there and perform.
Sarah, do you want to add on to that?
Yeah, I would just say I've seen both sides. Some artists who need that energy and they want it, and they miss it, and so they're any chance I can get, I'm gonna go ahead and do it and perform live. And then there's artists that they're I just want something more intimate. And it's just their own personal preference, and or they don't like to go on live, but they'll do something pre-recorded. So I think it's, I've seen both sides. It's not necessarily you have to do one and not the other. It's what works for your audience, and what are you able to, put your best self out with.
Awesome. Maka, does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, perfect. I see that Charisse has their hand raised if you want to ask your question.
Hi, everybody. Hopefully y'all can, oh, there I am. So my name is Charisse. First off, I'm from Gary, Indiana, but I just graduated with a music degree from Pomona College. pronouns she, her, hers, and I currently work in the film industry as a music coordinator, just working on trailers and stuff. But my question, I have it written down, it's actually about live music, because my favorite band, of course, right now is Silk Sonic, two outstanding people coming together with live music backgrounds. And then also Anderson .Paak starting his label that's based off of people that can sing and both play, which I identify with as a composer and vocalist. So my question is more so about you all's opinion on people that come from live music backgrounds. How do you feel about their trajectory in the music industry? Because I feel like a lot of the industry, especially right now, like all my friends are like, oh, Shreeze, you should be making beats. You shouldn't be writing music on your little keyboard or your guitar. Like you should be putting those songs down, you know, and trying to do something like that. But I feel like with my live music background, that's still the way. And Silk Sonic has proven that, you know, based off their success this year. So I'm just wondering, what are you all's opinion about people who make music with live instruments and then marketing that as opposed to the beats and stuff that we hear on the radio?
I can jump in on that one. First of all, congratulations on graduating. That's awesome. Congrats. I mean, I totally hear you. We're in a space where, you know, the demand for music is shifting, and there is a high demand for beats and a certain type of sound. But to your point, Shreeze, you know, Silk Sonic has proven that, and many other artists have proven that there is a demand for live music. And once we get back into the space of being comfortable going to live shows, I think that there will be even more opportunity to really highlight that. But I would say, like with anyone else, you know, it's just about finding your audience. There are still communities that really value that. And you can even use, you know, platforms that may be geared towards that other type of sound to highlight what you do, you know, whether it's breaking down a song, you know, instrument by instrument on a platform like TikTok or YouTube Shorts or something like that, where you are, you know, kind of breaking down, like, this is the final product, but here's how I got there. And even on like platforms like Twitter, you see, you know, people sharing freestyles or, you know, live performances that users are wowed by. And it's just kind of like about putting it out there and, you know, letting it be known that you have these incredible talents. Yeah, I think it's just about finding those spaces to promote, but it's definitely possible. And I would never feel, you know, discouraged and, you know, from doing that and leaning into that, because, you know, that's your talent. That's where it is. So there's something for everyone, definitely, and an audience for everyone.
Awesome. Shreeze, does that answer your question?
Yep, that was perfect. Thank you so much.
Amazing. So I see that Mackie Lavender has his hand raised. Do you want to hop on here, Mackie?
Yeah. Does this work? All right. Hey guys, hey everyone. So like I said, I'm an artist, rapper, dancer. I do a bunch of stuff, and I've been doing it like mostly by myself for years because I live in Quebec. So there's not like I was born and raised in Quebec. It's ridiculous. There's no labels that you could just walk down the street to unless you really like have met someone from school. So by doing what I did, I built like something organic in, like, I guess, my city and my surroundings. But it came to a point that I hit a wall because like I was on tour with my entire band and I was tour managing the whole stuff with the band that I brought with me. So then like it almost made me realize, like, is it better to just like keep taking all this, sorry for my language, all this shit that comes with being independent, or is it, and then just literally only sign when you're at your breaking point? Or just like, what's the best way to do about this? Like, because I take so many label meetings, but they never really mean anything because I seem to come like someone who needs help. So is the better way to just stay independent, or is it good to just only go to a major when you actually like are desperate? It's better to stay independent or go to a label. I don't know.
Naoto, I see you raising your hand. Do you want to hop on?
Yeah, most definitely. I definitely, hey, Mackie, super talented dude. I've definitely seen him perform a couple times. I'm also from Montreal as well.
Hey,
so shouts out to you. But what I'll say there is that I think that, would you say like the biggest concern for yourself is like giving up pieces of the pie?
It's, for example, like I hired a production company for the shows and they started doing a terrible job. So then I gave up pieces of the pie, and now I'm like in legal matters to get back the money, because basically when you invest in a company, they have the money hold on until the contract is done. So
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's kind of like burned your, like, I guess like your, enjoyment and just like working with other people. I mean, what I'll say there is that I feel that, definitely can do things on your own, and you definitely can do things independently. It just comes with so much. And I think, that's definitely the challenge, right? Is like finding the perfect partners and the perfect distributors and the perfect like touring companies to work with. But I would definitely say that I would like keep your options open, continue to take those meetings, and eventually, I think you will be able to find those partners, because it does definitely seem like, and why I did ask the question regarding if you're willing to give up the like a certain percentage or like a pie, is because I've definitely met artists where they're kind of just like, I don't want to give up anything. Like, I want to keep everything for myself. But what I always say is like, 100% of zero is nothing, right? So at the end of the day, like I do think that if it works for your situation, go for it at the end of the day. Yeah, I feel like Blair and Sierra, you guys definitely have more to add there. So yeah, take it away, guys.
Yeah, I would also just add, like, I don't know if you have like a partner or right hand or somebody, but finding somebody who really understands what you want and what you're looking for, someone who, and it's hard. It's really hard to find people to trust. It's really hard to find people who understand your vision, but there is somebody out there who's going to be there and be that person to protect you, to protect your artistry, to protect and make sure that the things are getting done that need to get done. It's just discovering who that is and who's going to have your back, And sometimes, like, I mean, I've seen it. Like, there have been artists who end up bringing one of their super fans. They like somebody who's like, I love this artist. I get you. I understand you. And they help build your audience too, while also whatever it is that you need, like they're going to be there to help out. But it's really, I get what you're saying, where it's like, do I want to go to a label or do I keep doing this independently? If I go to a label, are they going to pay attention? But I'll say this, like when you're at a label, you're one step closer to being your name being spread in other places, because now you have a team that focuses on radio. You have a team that focuses on sales, and they're pitching to my company, Amazon Music or Spotify or Apple Music. And that's cutting through, all the noise. That's one step, but it's a hard decision, and I think that it's whatever it is, like where you're at in the moment of what you feel like you need. But sometimes going to a label too, sometimes artists feel like, oh, I'm not getting the attention, or I'm not getting what I thought I was going to get, because people think they go to a label and now everything's going to be done for you. But there's still that hard work. So whether or not you're independent or you're at a label, you're still going to be hustling and trying to make it happen with or without the label. Like, you still have to do those pieces on the side. So it's like, do your hustle. And if you have a label, that's just one additive to it. But find that partner that you can trust for this time. And sometimes those end up turning a certain way, just being honest. But where you're at, like, I think that's going to be super important.
I just have a quick other question. When you're at a label,
sorry, Mackie.
all right,
I do want to give other folks a chance to ask their questions as well, but there is a contact sheet in the chat if you want to follow up with any of the panelists and stay connected with folks.
Right,
thank you so much, Mackie. So we have time for maybe one or two more questions. Jordan, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, first, thank you all so much for being here. I've enjoyed this conversation so much. I've taken so many notes. But I'm Jordan. I am an intern at Finesse Media. I'm also interested in the sustainability of, like, in general, helping keep our earth healthy, and also music. And so I hope I'm pretty sure you'll know about Coldplay vowing not to tour until, like, they could be, like, better for the earth when they tour. And now they've come out with a 12-point plan. to be better for when they're touring. So first, my question is that even a type of marketing strategy? And do you also see other artists like doing that in the future, or would it be beneficial for them to follow along in that path?
I could jump in. I would say absolutely yes, that could be a marketing strategy and incorporate it into a marketing strategy, especially because there are so many organizations that are invested in sustainable practices and, you know, would be happy to have an artist be the face of that or be part of kind of leading the charge and getting the word out. So I think that's a great way to engage with people with, you know, similar interests, and also connect with organizations that could, you know, it could be a mutually beneficial thing, you know, learning about, you know, maybe it's a panel or something where an artist is participating and learning about what this organization is doing, and in return doing some type of benefit or live performance on their socials or something like that in exchange for, you know, promotion, or I don't know, whatever it ends up being. But I think that's definitely something that is going to continue to be an issue and going to continue to be a focus in a lot of artists, you know, campaigns, because it's a serious thing. And, you know, we're not doing the greatest job at attacking that and preventing, you know, more, I guess, issues on earth. we're not doing a great job with that. But you know, with artists, I feel like there's always been, you know, an attention to that in a really special way. So that absolutely can be used for marketing. Didn't Lorde do something kind of similar to that with her physical release? I forget what it was. I'm blanking on it. I don't know if any Lorde fans are in the chat. But it was some type of like sustainable LP or something. I don't know. I think. Maybe I'm confusing it. But anyway, I think it's been done. It'll continue to be done. Yeah, I love that. I love that you're involved in sustainable practices. I think that's dope.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome. I think we can squeeze in one more question before heading into our listening party. So Marley, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to talk about making cohesive storylines when it comes to an artist release. Also, I'm Marley, also a Finesse Media intern. And I primarily work in PR and marketing with the artists that we have. And one thing that I struggle with is when an artist has so many different ideas and maybe even multiple releases coming up, how to make them all seem like they're coming from the same world when we put out the content. So if you guys have any advice on like making that cohesive storyline, that would be so helpful.
I would say, you know, making sure everybody who's part of the team has listened to the music, and having that really honest, open discussion of like how that music makes each person feel. Where do you see it living? What's the through line? You know, where does it take fans from one to the next, right? And but I think everybody brings an opinion to the table because we all have our different love and experiences with music, that it's like a person can point out something of saying like, oh, actually, this makes sense. But it also comes with what does each body of music represent, whether it's a single in the video, into the next single, into the actual projects, launching a trailer, launching a documentary, like what are you trying to tell? So having that end goal and then working backwards, I think is like the most important piece of like creating that through line of a story. And yeah, and then things change. Like as an artist ends up transitioning into a different period of their life, they have new music, a new story to tell. And then you start over, but then it's also like still paying attention to like what was at their core and where you see them going long term and that longevity aspect, but knowing and understanding that the music is going to tell a different sort of story with each song and each like project release.
Awesome. Thank you, Sierra. Does that answer your question, Marley? All right, perfect. Thank you guys so much. Again, I hope all of the audience members have been taking notes. We've definitely been hearing so many gems from our panelists. So now I'm going to pass it off to Donna, who's going to be hosting our listening party.
Yeah, so I'm super excited to share this. Our listening party's purposes are for the audience members to find new artists and for the artists to hear some thoughts from these professionals on our panels. And the first song that we're going to start off with today is called New Salvation by Susan. I saw you were here. Do you have anything to share while I'm pulling that up?
So hi again. So the big thing about this one is I think this was one of the more natural ones that came to me when I wrote it. I wrote it the weekend after I left my full-time job. And I used to be in computer science. So it was a big shift for me. And I'm Iranian, so I grew up with very strict parents. And it was a big risk. And I basically had to prove myself to my family and all my family friends that this was something I'm super passionate about. I just never shared it with them until I was ready, but now I'm trying to full-fledged be an artist. But yeah, this song is just about trying to find, new beginnings and feeling a little lost, but hoping that you can find your way as you continue your journey. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. And also everyone in the audience, make sure to share your thoughts also in chat.
My thoughts got trapped in the river. Picked them up one by one and left them out to dry. One was too heavy, one was too light. These are the two sides that fight in my mind. All of my thoughts got changed by that river. And now I'm searching for a new salvation, a new vocation. I'm trying to figure it out. I need a new salvation, no vacation. I can't find anything just to find choices I haven't made yet.
Okay, that was awesome. And Naoto, I saw you like bopping along. So do you have any thoughts to share?
Yeah, no, that was fire. Like I really love the build up there, and props to whoever like was playing the bass on that. Like that was pretty crazy. Yeah, Susan, no, you killed that. You killed that. I'm definitely adding that to my playlist for sure. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Sierra, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I love the song. Great job on that. Definitely one to add to a playlist. And I think that to my playlist, I think that we didn't touch on like sync. I mean, I know Blair had spoken about like gaming, but also think about TV and film and connecting to like a music supervisor. That is also another place that artists start to get their first entry point, right? And getting that into, I remember like 24K Golden, like we had a great sync placement with his song Valentino. And that was like the start. Like it was placed in the show Ballers. And then it just like from there, it helps position an artist in a different space. And so sync, getting your music in film and TV is a great place to start as well.
Quick question. What's a music supervisor?
A music supervisor, they're the ones who are actually selecting songs to play into film and TV. So if you ever like, whether it's like an actual film or even reality TV, like sometimes like you hear music in the background. And from there also, there's times where we see soundtracks that are being made from an actual film. So that person is responsible for negotiating and paying out an artist for utilizing their song into a TV episode or a film. Like that's their actual job.
Yeah. Blair, do you have anything to add?
I think Naoto and Sierra pretty much summed it up, but yeah, that song is amazing. Great point on exploring sync, and for all of the artists that are playing music today, definitely something to consider. And like Sierra said, it's a great opportunity to get your name out there and put your music out, and get things moving. But Susan, just wanted to say, congratulations to you. You're super brave for making the decision to commit to your artistry full time, and this song is amazing, and I think the comments speak for itself. You're doing a great job. Love this.
Yeah, thanks, Susan. Okay, so for their next song, this is STF17 by G.Raf. Are you on here and have anything to say about your song? I don't know if you're on here. Okay, I'll move on to the next song, but if you are on here, let us know. Okay, so for our next one, there's Chufeng, To Myself. I know that you're on here, so if you want to say anything real quick about your song.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chufeng. I use she, her, and hers pronouns. I'm fair warning, it's like a totally different vibe from the absolute bop we just listened to. This one is a lot more chill. It's a song I wrote and I produced with another queer Asian artist, which was amazing, but it's about like grounding yourself. I had written it when I was like transitioning out of my undergrad degree. And, like when you're transitioning, things are really scary and there's a lot of unknown. But I was also feeling really good. So it was just like a reminder that like, yes, in the real world, being a queer transgender woman of color is very scary, but if I'm grounded and I know how to get back to myself, I'm gonna be okay. So I hope y'all enjoy. Playing it like this in front of 76 people is really scary, but when it was on Spotify at like 3,000 streams, I was totally fine. So I'm really nervous.
Don't be. I'm excited to play it.
I've been smiling so damn much, it kind of hurts. Laughing so damn hard, it feels so good, it's such a rush. Prioritizing joy, loving kindness faithfully. Only have time for the good in life. Working on myself, keeping up with my health. Just trying to keep good vibes, good times on me. Feel it in my heart, deep down from within. It's in my soul. I know how to get back to that joy, that vibe, that light within my eyes. I know how to get back to myself, to myself, to myself.
Awesome. Naoto, I saw you really bopping along. Do you have any thoughts to give?
Wow, no, these songs have been really great. That song was like a lot of people in the comments said, a total vibe. Yeah, it just made me like in like a few seconds reflect on this beautiful, beautiful Saturday afternoon. So yeah, no, that was dope. And to like this space definitely does need more Asian queer artists in it and everything. So yeah, just keep pushing. Really, really proud of you, because it can be tough considering, like you are the minority in this space. But with that being said, like this is incredible. And yeah, I'm like super proud of you for, putting this out amidst all the uncertainty in your life. So yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, Blair, do you have anything to add?
that song is such, it was giving me like self-care Sunday playlist vibes, which is like my favorite, my favorite type of music to just vibe out to. And I'm just reading all the comments now, getting caught up. But yeah, I absolutely love that song, and congrats to you for finding your lane, and you know, continue to push. Yes, I'm seeing self-care Sunday in the chat. That's the vibe it gave me. I love it. But yeah, this is amazing, and congrats to you, and keep doing your thing.
Yeah, Sierra, anything for you to add?
The song was amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us. And your storytelling on that song was like so relatable to a lot of people, as you can see. And it's cool, even though you're a bit nervous to share this, like you are receiving all this positive feedback of how much people were relating to it and enjoyed it. So keep sharing it, please.
Thank you for sharing it with us. Our next song is Beautiful Feeling. If you're on here, can you tell us a little bit about your song?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so this song's called Beautiful Feeling. I actually just dropped this Friday on all streaming platforms, so I'm very excited about it. It's what this, you know, what the title says. It's a beautiful feeling, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Sorry, one second.
Check the profile, realizing our destiny, go child. Winning the race by a whole mile. No one's a match for my community, we got the most fire. Most necessary, sitting by the record player. Don't sleep, you can have it now, but may not have it later. I hope you enjoy the come up. They must have retired my jersey, cause no one's got my number. Coming to get back everything that was taken from us. You can't stop a vibe, you can't take away a feeling that you feel inside. I'm lucky just to be alive. Don't need a blue check, I already know that I'm verified. 4 letters to describe my feeling at the moment. Humility, a powerful tool, I know I'm goated. Every track, my train of thought is tunnel vision, yet I'm very focused. You walk a different way than everyone when you know you're chosen. Whoa. What a beautiful feeling. What a beautiful feeling. One day I heard great advice. Yesterday's price isn't today's price.
That was awesome. I always hate pausing these songs. They're all so good. But Sierra, do you have any thoughts to give?
Yeah, I mean, your flow is dope, and like just the song itself, it felt good. Everybody here is vibing out to it. Would love, congrats on just releasing this across, you know, all the streaming partners. That's a big achievement in itself. And keep making more music, keep putting out more, because we want it, you know? So great job on that.
Yeah, anything to add, Naoto?
Yeah, like I really loved your delivery on that, especially the way you built up to that don't need a blue check to know that I'm verified. Like that, man, that's like this song's like it's out on DSPs, right? Like yes. I think it is. But this is definitely going to my gym playlist for sure. Yeah, like definitely like gives very like early morning inspiration, like yeah, inspiration. So yeah, no, congrats on this release, and yeah, keep pushing out more music, man. You killed it.
Yeah, Blair, anything to add?
I think that Naoto and Sierra covered it, but just to echo what they're saying, I really love this song. I was seeing in the chat, it was giving kind of So Far Gone vibes, which I definitely felt too, definitely had a So Far Gone vibe. And I guess something that just came into my mind that could apply to, I think, everyone that has shared music so far. Because there are such great stories behind some of these tracks, is especially for the more lyrical stuff. Doing some type of like genius inspired breakdown could be really cool, a cool way to share kind of some of those standout moments, like the blue check verified bar, or like little things that, you know, people want to like hear what you're saying and kind of where you got the inspiration from. So that could be a cool way to kind of highlight it. You know, it's hard to get looks from some of these major, you know, programming spots like Genius and, you know, whatever, but you can find a way to make it your own and still share some of this really dope content. So yeah, but I love this song. This is great.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, and for our last song, we have Shadow by Elsie, who's actually part of Finesse Media's team, or like family. So Elsie, do you have anything to share about your song?
Yeah, thank you all again for your words of wisdom, and also shout out to all the artists. I definitely relate a lot to your stories. I think Shadow, this song in particular, I wrote it also from, you know, I used to work in corporate America and then also left my job. And so definitely lots of similar themes there. And this song in particular was also just like referring to that kind of a time period, and sort of like being kind of like as you evolve, the feelings that you go through, and kind of feeling like a different person almost. And it's pretty funny. The first line you'll notice has like 2 years, and it's actually been 2 years since I put this song out. So would also love any thoughts too on, you know, it's not like a recent release, although I did recently put out a dance remix to it, but sort of ways to maybe like revive something that's been out for a while.
Two years with no sleep. Guess I've been living the dream. I'm sinking. I've hit the bottom. Searching for something. Cast aside the feeling. Looking out from behind. I got this energy, I feel it haunting me. I know it's following, and now I've realized I'm a shadow of who I used to be. I'm blending in on me, never been so hollow. Feeling incomplete, they'll never see through me, but it's making me stronger than yesterday. I'm embracing the element. You're not wrong for reality, 'cause the shadow is
That was awesome. And it's all of you guys bopping along. So Sierra, what do you have? Any thoughts about this?
Yeah, I know you said you put this out, you know, what, 2 years ago, but like, I think that's the great thing about music, is that it continues to live, and we're continuing to discover new music even years later. The song is fire. I loved it. I could feel like your passion. I could feel a lot from it and relate to it. And I mean, someone who comes to mind, like when you look at like an artist like Kid Cudi, he had Day and Night out for years before it took off, and that became one of his breaking records, you know? So I think that as you guys put out music, knowing that you can still put a push, and I love that you added a dance, you have plans for a dance remix as well. So great job on that. Great strategy.
Naoto, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I really love this song. Kind of, yeah, fully agree with Sierra. Like, that's the beautiful thing about music now, and just like this kind of, I feel like everybody's down to just continue to discover new music. I mean, we even saw with PNB Rock's High, which he just, you know, a Lucy off of SoundCloud. it became probably his biggest song that he's ever released, and then he just re-released it this Friday. But with all that being said, like I think Chen touched on this in the chat, like could definitely see this in a TV show for sure. Like I could also like imagine a bunch of like TikTok trends taken off with this as well. So yeah, like still a ton of potential for this song to reach and find new audiences. I really loved it. Like, oh God, these song submissions have been awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Blair, anything for you to add?
I love this song so much. I'm excited to check out the dance remix. I know some people in the comments were asking about it. Bea said it's fire, so I definitely got to check that out. But to Naoto's point, I totally hear this song on TikTok. Also, depending on how the dance remix sounds, you know, this song feels really full and is a bit slower, but the dance remix could be perfect for TikTok. And just a tip, if you feel like, hey, the track's been out on TikTok, it's not moving, maybe try switching the snippet that you're using. Maybe there's another part of the song that resonates on the platform. And you know, you can switch it around with the remix too. Another thing that came to mind, I totally envision like a cool visualizer for a track like this, like something trippy and cool that could be posted across, you know, platforms, specifically on YouTube. You know, the more consistent the content on your YouTube channel, the better to like stay up in the algorithm. So definitely recommend that if you don't have it. But yeah, I really love this song. Excited to check out the remix.
Thank you. All really great tips. And I will actually link the right here, the dance remix. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Elsie. And thank you to all the artists who have shared their music today. I really enjoyed listening to it. And I'm going to pass it off to Bea to do our wrap up.
Awesome, amazing, amazing. Again, so if you guys got something out of this today, if you got some gems from our panelists, if you had a good time and connected with some folks, if we could all unmute and give another woo woo. Woo, woo. Amazing, amazing. Yeah, again, you know, you guys could have been anywhere doing anything on your Saturday afternoon, and you chose to be here with us, with our community. So thank you to our panelists. Thank you, Blair, Naoto, and Sierra, for all of the knowledge that you've generously shared with us today. And thank you to all of the audience members who came and joined us. Again, I want to plug the contact sheet with which Abby just dropped in the chat. If you want to stay connected with the Finesse Media community, if you want to network with some folks that were here today, definitely be sure to fill that out. And then also, if you are loving what we're doing here with our community, if you're loving all of the value that you're gaining, we also have a Finesse VIPs community where you can get more exclusive opportunities and personal mentorship in the music industry. And again, we also have weekly digital events. So next week, we will be having another event on sustainability in the music industry, which we did talk about a little bit earlier during our Q&A. So if you want to check that out, the link will be going up next week, and you can find all of our events on the calendar on our website. And you can also catch all of our event replays on the Finesse YouTube if you can't make it live. So yeah, I just want to pass it off to Alexi or KitKat if you have anything to add before we close off here.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Alexi. I'm the founder and CEO of Finesse Media. I've had my camera off all this entire time because there are a lot of technical things happening in the background. But I wanted to say, Naoto, Blair, and Sierra, thank you so much for being a part of our event today. Naoto and Blair, we've been talking about you all week at Finesse Media. And then Sierra, when you decided that you could join, the girls and I were so excited that you'd be on the panel. So thank you all so much for being a part of this community. And thank you to our community members as well. We love what we do here at Finesse Media, which is why we've been doing this the entire pandemic and more. So we'll continue hosting more events like this in the future. And Bea and Donna, really, really great job at hosting today. I hope you all have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Thanks so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.
Thanks.